Good afternoon, madam, and thank you for agreeing to speak with us on issues about Nigeria's population. You are the director of the Population Management and Demography Department of the National Population Commission, Abuja. Please give us an insight on the prospects of Nigeria's population.
Thank you very much for organizing this conversation this afternoon, because people matter. Exactly. When people talk about population, they lay more emphasis on the number.
Yes.
But the population, where we perceive it, is what happens to the number. So we want to look at the prospects.
Yes.
So we have to come from behind, looking at the profile first. What makes up the Nigerian population, the people, how many there are, over 216 million. How many are young people? If we look at within the context of the youth policy of Nigeria, the current youth policy, so about over 70% of Nigerian population are young people. Then almost half of the population are women, and the adolescents constitute about 11% or so. And if we want to look at the young people 0 to under 24, there's about 60-something%. So that's the profile. Then we look at the fertility rates. That tells us how is our population growing. So it's about 3.2% per annum. But that's the national. Across the states, they all have different growth rates. Then we look at how is the shape of the population. We know it's a pyramid. That means we have more children than young people. We have about 53% of the population within the working age population, which is 15 to 64. Within the working age population. That's the profile. So what's the prospect? The prospect is that given the total fertility rates of 5.3, that means an average Nigerian woman is expected to have 5 children throughout her reproductive years. But you know that's the national rate. When we go to zones or to states, we have states that are having about 9 children per woman, and we also have as low as 4 when you come to the south. So that's the shape of the national the population of Nigeria. But what's the prospect when we have a high TFR and when we have a high annual growth rate? That means with the momentum, the embedded momentum, the Nigerian population is expected to continue to grow for the next centuries. Even when the United Nations prospects reported last year, when we reached the 8 billion human strong, Nigeria was numbered among the 9 countries that contributed to that. And they said going forward that half of the growth in going forward, which is the prospects, is that half of that growth will come from sub-Saharan, not even Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, which Nigeria leads. You know, Nigeria is number 1 when it comes to number of people. Nigeria is number 1 in Africa. So if they say sub-Saharan Africa will be contributing to half of the world population growth in the centuries ahead, that means Nigeria is fingered to be among the first 2 or 3 that will be contributing to that growth. So the prospect of Nigerian population is that we will continue to grow.
Wow, thank you.
We will continue to have young people in our population. The women will continue to have many children until something very drastic is done.
Exactly.